Welcome to the 2020 University of Colorado Women's Basketball One-on-One event. Thank you so much for supporting this team and CU Athletics. My name is Chris Livingston, and I'm the Executive Senior Associate Athletic Director. We know this year's event looks a little different, but I still believe this is one of the best annual events that we present in the athletic department. It's such a great opportunity for us to get to know some of the fantastic female campus leaders and for you to gain some insight into the new players on the roster this season and hear from the veterans. In addition to not having fans at our games, at least to start the season, we also don't have Seal Berry's presence as she's moved into retired life. Seal was the head coach of the bus for 22 years and athletic department administrator for another 15 years. One of Seal's responsibilities was sports supervisor for the women's basketball program. I was mentored by Seal for the past 23 years, so I guess it's fitting that I now take on that role. As a former Division I basketball player, coach, and director of operations, I've come full circle and now have the honor to serve as the sports supervisor. It's my absolute pleasure to work with Coach J.R. Payne and her staff. You can be extremely proud of the work ethic, integrity, compassion, and dedication that this staff brings to the team and the university every single day. We're excited for the 2020-21 season to get underway. We know this season will at least begin differently than any other, but there are ways to stay engaged and support the Buffs. We hope that you'll follow the team on the radio and on TV, through social media, and support the team in person at any point that fans are permitted in the arena. It's been a trying time for our student athletes as they juggle their schoolwork and their basketball commitments, all the while facing COVID testing, protocols, new rules, changing rules, masks, distancing, and new procedures. They're putting all of the life skills that they learned through sport to the test, and they're handling it like champions. I've been able to watch a couple of practices, and let me be the first to tell you how excited I am for this team to hit the court. Again, I sincerely thank you for your support. Now let's get this program started. First up, please welcome Charlotte Wicker and Abby Benson. Abby is the Associate Vice Chancellor and Chief of Staff in Strategic Resources and Support. Abby has been at CU Boulder for 4.5 years and worked in the CU system offices for an additional 4 years prior to coming to the Boulder campus.
Good evening. I'm really excited to be here with Charlotte Wicker. Good evening, Charlotte. Charlotte is a sophomore on the CU women's basketball team, and she is originally from Christchurch, New Zealand, which I'm sure you'll know when you hear her amazing accent. She is a sociology major, and she is a forward, and she is 6'3", which I can't wait to actually meet you in person. I wish we were doing this in person. And it's been really fun getting to know her and hear her story about how she ended up in Boulder all the way from New Zealand. Hopefully we'll hear more about that tonight. So Charlotte, the first question I have for you is tell me something about your goals for yourself and for the team this season.
I think this season's going to be really amazing, especially, for the team goals, and we've got a great group of girls that have joined us as well. And so just, the culture and everything's going to take us a long way. So I think one of the goals that I really want for the team, and I'm sure a lot of the girls can agree on, is just to definitely win as many games as possible. We really want to get to the NCAA tournament this year. I think last year with COVID and everything, we kind of got cut a bit short, and we didn't really win some of the games we really thought we were going to win. And I think, this year has, a lot to bring, and hopefully we can achieve that goal this year. For me personally, probably continuing to, grow my confidence on the court. I kind of know what it's like over here now, how, Americans play. I know all my teammates. So, just growing confidence and be able to execute my role on the court very well in order to contribute to my team's success.
That's excellent. And you did share with me that you trained with the national team in New Zealand, which is amazing to me. So I'm sure a lot of what you experienced there, you're translating over to CU. So we're really lucky to have you. Okay, tell us a personal fact about yourself that nobody would ever guess about you.
Okay, so this was kind of hard to think of, but when I was little, it might have been maybe 11 years old, maybe 10. I actually joined a karate club for a year and a half and did karate. And I think I earned my second belt. I think it was yellow. I think it's a yellow belt. So, yeah.
Nice. That's excellent. I actually did karate when I was younger, and I earned a yellow belt too. Sometimes you know, I'm in the office and I think, oh, I gotta take a karate move on one of my coworkers. I don't know if you ever had that sense when you're on the basketball court, but um, that is a really fun fact. Thanks for sharing.
Comes out.
Um, okay, so one thing that you have shared is that you like to cook and bake. So tell me what it is that you like to cook and or bake, and do you share it with the team?
Um, I'm such a sweet tooth. And so I love to cook, especially desserts. I did bring a national dessert over here last year, and I've made it quite a few times ever since. And it's called pavlova. And pavlova is like a meringue cake, is the best way to explain it, with cream on the top and kiwi fruit, strawberries, and everything like that. And I think it's
Nice.
pretty good. And then just, a range of other desserts. I've cooked banoffee pie for the team, trifle, brownies, and everything else. So yeah, love it.
What was the last one after trifle? You said brackneys?
No,
I don't know
brownies.
what that is. Oh, brownies. Oh, brownies.
Brownies.
So what is the team like the best out of all of those? What's been their
They
favorite?
love brownies, but I think they were really surprised with the national dessert pavlova, just because I think none of them had tried it before, and so that was kind of a bit of a
Hmm.
shock as well. I also made it for the
Nice.
administration and the men's and like our coaches and the men's team as well. I think had a little bit.
Excellent. Definitely great. That's great. So, what have you learned so far here at CU and especially on the team that you think is going to be the most valuable for you in your life? If you're looking back 30 years from now, what lessons do you think you would have taken with you?
Oh wow. Well, it's weird to imagine me that old, honestly, but I think this with this team, and I think my experience, especially being at international, comes so many new lessons, and things I can take away. I think some of them would definitely be the sacrifices that you have to make for your team. Definitely, on and off the court, just being there for each other. I think organization is a huge thing that I will take away, trying to balance, the athletic side and also academics, because you're, a student athlete first. And so, all that kind of stuff. Definitely stronger mentality. I definitely know Coach Toriano has made a great job about that, making sure we're mentally tough, both on and off the
Yeah.
court, which is great. Sometimes we don't enjoy the process, but it's all, because he wants us to succeed. So that's awesome. And then definitely the importance of family. I think growing up where I grew up, there was such a great sense of that and community. And so for it to be over here as well, especially when I'm not at home and be, supported and surrounded by amazing, coaches and teammates has been absolutely awesome. So definitely the importance of family and connections for sure.
That's excellent. I'm sure that all those things will really serve you well in your life. So I'm glad you're learning all of that here at CU, and we're glad to have you here. So I think those are most of the questions I had for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I have quite a fun question for you, and it's probably, I'm sorry if you don't have a lot of time to think about it, but it's if you could be best friends with a celebrity, who would it be
Ooh.
and why?
Well, I have to say, I don't know if I'm allowed to pick someone posthumously, but I'm really sad about Alex Trebek, who is, people may know as the host of Jeopardy. I've been watching Jeopardy my whole life with my family. I watched it every night growing up. I'm a real nerd. I love trivia. and he has been the host for such a long time. And I think that he has amazing stories and knows a lot of things. So even though we just lost him this week, sadly, I think if I had the chance to be best friends with Alex Trebek, I would think I would take that.
Well, that's an awesome.
I want to learn everything he knows.
Exactly. Maybe you can quiz you a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Jeopardy will never be the same. So.
Oh no, yeah, I'm sure. So thank you so much for doing this. Lovely to meet you.
All right. You too. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Now welcome Susanna Kalinska and Natalie Koster. Natalie is the Associate Director of First-Year Student Recruitment in the Office of Admissions. Natalie graduated from CU as an International Affairs major and a German major and has been working at CU for 10 years. I am the admissions liaison for the athletic department, and Natalie's my go-to. I have her on speed dial. And a fun fact about Natalie, she attended the Sealberry basketball camp when she was a youngster.
All right. Hello, everybody. It is an honor to introduce Susanna to everyone that's watching tonight. Susanna is from Gdynia, Poland. She's a 5'11" shooting guard. And we're just going to dive right into our interview questions, Susanna. So will you tell us about the biggest challenge you had transitioning from high school to college basketball?
Definitely expectation, because first of all, the levels are different. High school is much easier. And in high school, it doesn't matter if you play good. Well, it matters if you play good, but it's good when you play good. It's all right when you play bad. In college, your expectation is to play good. And there's an issue if you don't do so. So that's the biggest transition.
Yeah, definitely. Well, good. So would you share a personal fact with everyone who's watching about something that nobody would ever guess about you?
So everybody knows that I drink a lot of coffee, but nobody would guess that sometimes I drink about 5 to 6 cups a day. And I can drink it right before going to bed, too.
Wow, and you can still sleep? No problem?
I even sleep better.
That is a gift. A lot of people, I'm sure, would be jealous of that.
Yeah.
Great. So will you tell us a little bit more about Gdynia, the place that you grew up?
It's a port town, and I actually grew up right by the beach. And it's just beautiful. We eat a lot of seafood. We hang out at the beach a lot. The only thing that I would improve is the weather, because if the weather would be nice, it would be a paradise.
Yeah, sounds beautiful there. So kind of along those lines, if there is another place that you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would that place be?
So it's basically my hometown. Add nice weather, add palm trees, and it equals Hawaii.
That would be a great place to live, hang out on the beach and enjoy all the good food.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, so now I have a question for Natalie. And it is, what's the best part about your job here at CU?
Yeah, so I'll just give a quick explanation and intro, I guess, of myself and what I do at CU. My name is Natalie Koster, and I'm an Associate Director of Admissions for the Office of Admissions here. So I oversee all first-year student recruitment, and I've worked here for about 10 years, and it's just incredibly fulfilling to work with students who are making a decision about where to spend the next 4 years of their lives. And I've worked with students all around the world, and it really changes the trajectory of your life where you go to college. So that's been a really special thing to see people as their lives change by coming to a wonderful place like CU Boulder. So this has been really fun to just talk with you and get to know a little bit more about you. And I know you're really excited about the season starting in a couple of weeks here and having your first home game.
Can't wait. I hope you will watch us.
Yes, I will definitely be cheering you on remotely. And then whenever we can have in-person games, in-person crowds for your games, I'll definitely be there too. So I'm a lifelong Lady Buffs fan here. So I was telling Susanna earlier, since I was 10 years old, I've been watching Lady Buff games. So this is a really fun experience to do this as well. So great. All righty. Well, thank you, Susanna, for sharing all these fun facts about yourself, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Next up, Alyssa Lafontaine and Pilar Sattler-McQuillan. Pilar is Assistant Director of the CU Dialogues Program in the School of Education. She's been at CU for 11 years.
So how about we learn a little bit more about you for the people that are going to be seeing this interview?
Yeah.
Maybe you can share a little bit about, maybe you can share a little bit about your hometown. What position do you play? How tall are you? And, even if you want to share your favorite food and your favorite artist, anything like that.
Got you. So, as we know, my name's Alyssa. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm 6 foot, and I play 2 and 3.
Can you share a personal fact about yourself that no one would ever guess about you, unless you chose to tell them?
A lot of people know my favorite color is green, but I only say that because I'm ashamed of saying my favorite color is brown. Like my favorite color is brown, and a lot of people don't know that about me. Because usually when I tell them that, they're like, "Ugh, it's so disgusting." But I mean, I like it. So
That is different. I wonder where did that come from? Maybe you love chocolate.
I do.
So one thing that I wanted to ask you was about how being a student athlete has impacted your academic life. Like when you think about your high school or and now in college, what has it done for that part of you?
I'd say being a student athlete and having to balance practice and then because here's basically my schedule. So wake up at 8, at 12 go to the gym, and then we're there from 12 to 6, and then we get treatment after that. And of course we gotta take a shower. So by the time we're home, it's 7. So it kind of sucks. It's hard, but it's doable. Honestly, it's doable.
It's a lot of work, though.
It is. It honestly is. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, they give us the school really helps us with work and stuff. Like you can schedule a tutor, you can get any tutor you want, and the tutors are always they're so helpful. So,
That's wonderful.
So the question I have for you is, what is the most rewarding part of your job?
Well, I know this sounds like a big cliche, but because my job is all about interacting with students and faculty and really interacting with people 24/7. That's really what I do. I think meeting with faculty and the relationships that I have built over the last decade or so with them that are professional and they're also friendships and the students. I love students. They are wonderful, and it's nice to learn with them, from them.
Yeah.
And it's also, they make me happy because they transmit a lot of positivity and excitement, and they have a lot of dreams. So that is really the job.
I like that answer. Love that answer.
It's the truth, really. It is.
Yeah, I bet I wouldn't mind doing your job. That actually sounds so fun.
It is. Sometimes the topics are a little bit difficult,
Yeah.
but necessary, right?
Yeah.
It's
For
like when
sure.
you go in your professional life, you're going to be working with people that are hurting, right? People that are, it's not going to be easy, but you know that what you're going to be doing is going to be helpful. So that's
Okay.
why you do it.
Please welcome Maddie Buford and Alyssa Sepulveda. Alicia is an academic coach in the College of Arts and Sciences. She's been at CU for 2 years, and you know that I love that she's an academic coach.
It's an honor to introduce Maddie B to everyone that's watching tonight. So some facts about Maddie B is that Maddie B is from St. Louis, Missouri, and is 5'9" and a shooting guard. So today I want to start with asking you a question around what did you learn from your time as a freshman that's helped you prepare for your sophomore year?
Something that I learned as my time from a freshman is like time is money, money is time. Like everything is on time, it's a time schedule. And as I got older, I got to see like how much time meant and like what I have to do. So like that's what I learned for sure. Yeah.
So important. Awesome. Why don't you share a personal fact about yourself that no one would have ever guessed about you?
I want 5 kids.
Yeah, that is pretty surprising.
I told you, yeah, it's gonna be surprising. Yeah. I want 5 kids. So
All right.
yeah, a personal fact about myself. Yeah.
All right. So what are your career plans after college?
If the WNBA doesn't work out or like overseas, I want to become like a sports reporter for like ESPN, some kind of sports reporter. So yeah. Yep. That's what I want to be.
Let's make it happen. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. If you could go back to high school and tell yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, on the court, it would be get in shape and eat better. Because in high school, you don't know how hard it's going to be in like college. But off the court, it would be don't procrastinate so much. Because in high school, that's what I did a lot. But now that I'm getting older, it's getting better. So yeah, that's what I would tell myself for sure. If you could have dinner with anyone, past, present, or future, who would it be with, and what would you ask them?
Okay. So I would probably have dinner with Michelle Obama because we could start a friendship. That would be why. And then also I would ask how she really created some of the movements around supporting college students around her marketing campaigns around that.
Thank you, Alicia, so much for being a part of this event. I really enjoyed you.
Of course. Yeah, it was so great to meet you.
Now welcome Aubrey Knight and Doreen Jokerst. Doreen has been the chief of police at CU for 2 years and has spent 22 years in the police profession. I attend a monthly campus meeting that Chief Jokerst also attends, and I always feel safe with her in the room.
Well, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce to you tonight Aubrey Knight. So to everyone who's watching, Aubrey comes to us from Ventura, California. She's 6'1". She is a shooting guard and is currently a redshirt junior. She loves to surf, skateboard, hike, and really do anything outdoors. So Aubrey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And the first question I have for you is, why did you choose to come to Colorado, and how has your experience been so far?
So one of the main reasons I decided to come to Colorado was because of the family atmosphere. I really connected with the coaches on my visit, and that was really important to me. And one thing that someone had told me when I was coming on my visits was, if you were to have like a season-ending injury, like on the first day that you would walk on here and not be able to play basketball, like where would you want to be living? Where would you want to be? What people would you want to be around? So that was a really big deciding factor in me wanting to decide to come here. And my experience it's been a really good experience. I really like all my teammates and my coaches. I got injured my sophomore year with a dislocation of my shoulder a few times. So that was tough to definitely like get basketball taken away from me. but it allowed me to have other avenues of ways to fill my time and just kind of like approach basketball in a different way that I think has helped me now being back on the court.
That's great. That is so perfect. So can you share something with us that nobody would ever guess about you?
So I'm actually ambidextrous. So I'm right-handed in almost everything except for basketball. I play left-handed. And then when I played soccer, I used my left foot. So I don't know, it's super weird, but.
Has that helped you out in basketball and here at CU, having that talent?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because, so I shoot a basketball with my left hand, but I like to dribble with my right hand more. And so people will call me a lefty, and so they'll give me more of my right lane. I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, I prefer to go right anyway, like on my drive. So it's kind of funny because it's like hard to scout it just because like, oh, she's a lefty, but like I'm not really a lefty. I just shoot with my left hand. So it's kind of confusing.
That's great. That's really great. So if you could have any superpower ever, what superpower would you pick and why would you pick it?
So I think that if I could have any superpower, I would want to have teleportation just because then I could get anywhere at anytime I wanted to. And I wouldn't have to worry about like the whole hassle of traveling and anything like that. I could just with a snap of a finger be anywhere that I want to be, whether that's in a different country, just to my bedroom or, back to practice kind of thing.
So if you could do that now, where would a place be that you would pick to go? Would it be in this country, out of this country, in, to bed? Where would you pick?
Well, I guess I would say like out of this country would be Greece. I've always like really wanted to travel to Greece. And I think that would be like a really cool country and area just to kind of explore. I also would like to go home maybe just for like a little bit, see my family and stuff. But the bed also does sound really nice. All of the above.
Very nice, very nice. But with that superpower, you'd be able to get there very quickly. So that would be great.
Exactly.
Tell us one of your favorite female athletes. It could be past, present, or future, but tell us who one of your favorites is and tell us why you pick them.
So I'd say right now my favorite female athlete is Alana Deladon. She plays in the WNBA. And I just really like her. I just think that her story is super inspirational. Coming out of high school, she was committed to UConn, which is one of the best basketball teams like in the country for women's basketball. And, after that first day, she left and felt like she needed to go home. And so she went and just ended up playing at the University of Delaware, which is where she was from, and played volleyball and basketball, and now is one of the best players in the WNBA. And I just think that's a super cool story that it doesn't necessarily mean like how big of a school that you go to or what the circumstances are, that if you work hard and try hard, that you can still be one of the best. And I think that's super cool.
That is truly great. Well, that is all the questions I have for you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I actually have a question for you. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
A superpower as well. You know what? Kind of close to what you picked. I think I would pick time travel, and I would want to be able to go into the past and into the future as well. I think there's so many great leaders and historians that I would love to learn from, talk to, communicate with, and ask questions in regards to just different decisions they made. I would like to go back and talk to loved ones that are no longer here. And so if I could pick anything, I think time travel for me would be the one that I would pick.
That's super cool. Okay, well, thank you for being a part of this event and supporting the bus. It's been really nice to get to know you.
It's been really nice to get to know you too. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, you too.
Next up, Frida Foreman and Chris Gustafsson. Chris is the Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship in the Research and Innovation Office. She's a CU Boulder alum and has been working at CU for just over a year. However, Chris is a Boulder native, and she also attended the Sealberry basketball camps every summer in high school and has idolized the CU women's basketball team ever since.
Hello, everybody. It's my honor to introduce Frida to everyone that's watching tonight. Let's start off with some quick facts about Frida. So Frida, where are you from?
I'm from Denmark, a small town called Balsvad that's right outside Copenhagen.
Fabulous. You know I'm going to ask you this. What's your favorite Danish meal?
It's definitely rye bread, but I also think I'm craving it a lot because you can't get it here. So if I was home, It will probably be more like some Danish pastries and stuff. There's a lot, but rye bread. I'll go with rye bread.
Awesome. It is hard to get rye bread here, as we've discussed, that awesome Danish rye bread. Okay, what's your height?
My height is 5'11".
And what position are you playing?
I'm playing point guard and shooting guard.
Fabulous. And what year are you?
I'm a freshman.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you a question about basketball. Let's see here. What are you most excited about in your first year at CU and playing in the Pac-12 conference?
A lot of things, but I think just feel the competition and kind of, try out how I do out there and really just like playing with this team. I'm really excited to see how we do and just see how I work in this new setting.
What are some of the biggest differences you've faced so far during your time in Boulder? And we completely understand there have been many, many differences in the world this year. So we'd love to hear what you think some of those differences are in your experience.
I think the biggest difference just between Denmark and America is that Denmark is much smaller and America is very big, and there's just by walking into a supermarket, there's so many things to choose from. When I was in quarantine, I had to get like an instant coffee, and it was just there was way too many to choose from, and that wouldn't happen at home. It would be like 4, and here it was just 50, and I was a little freaked out. But yeah, that's a big difference. Also, just with the facilities, the gym. Everything is just bigger. But I mean, that's why I'm here too, just to have access to all these things that I wouldn't have at home.
And how about just adjusting to college in general? How has that been for you since you've been here?
It's been a challenge, definitely, just because there's so much school, and school is also different than Danish school is. And practice is different, it's longer, and there's just way more things to keep track of. And just the way my day goes. I mean, at home I would have late night practices and kind of have an afternoon. Here it's the whole afternoon is practice, and just to adjust, like, when do I have my own time, when do I have time to go in and get some shooting done. That's definitely been a little harder at first. And then just like not living with my family and having them close is definitely an adjustment that I'm still working on. But the team is so nice, and like we are like one big family. So I'm definitely getting like the support that I need.
Well, we're so glad you're here. Thank you for being here during these crazy times. We're so glad you're here, and it's exciting to hear about your experience, even though it is a little bit unique, of course. I'd love to wrap this up with a personal question. So I have a 14-year-old daughter who plays basketball. What advice would you give to her or to your 14-year-old self, something that you know now that you wish you had known as a 14-year-old?
I think I would tell, that's so cool, by the way. And I think I would tell her that she should just enjoy where she is and enjoy playing with her teammates. Because I think my favorite like memories are from those years when I was 14, 15 years old. It was so much fun. And also just that don't set any limits for herself. And if she sees someone do a move that she might want to try, just go ahead and try it. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make a behind the back pass at a game and fail, because one day she's going to do it and it's going to be cool. I think I definitely I learned that, and I've definitely benefited off of it because I mean, nothing is too hard for anyone to try and master it. So yeah, don't set any limit for herself. That's what I would tell her.
Thank you. I will pass that along. That's great advice.
Yeah. And I have a question for you too. So you graduated from CU and now you work here. And what made you decide to come to school to CU, and what inspired you to stay here?
Great question, Frida. I actually grew up in Boulder, and there really was no other place that I would even consider going besides CU. I had this amazing school in my backyard, and I always knew I'd go to CU. And I actually went to Sealberry's basketball camp a couple of summers when I was in high school, and Tracy Tripp, who's one of my very favorite players in the world, coached at my high school. So it was, it was just a no-brainer that I would be at CU. I wish I could have played basketball like you, Frida, but I wasn't as good as you are. But I went to CU, got an English degree, and then after that, I went off and created a couple of businesses and did some management consulting, and ultimately ended up back in Boulder. My family's here, and I saw that there was a job at CU related to innovation and entrepreneurship. And that's one of my passions, helping students get to understand how to create their own businesses and their own futures. So I was fortunate enough to get the job, and here I am. And I have to say, it's so different to be working on campus instead of going to school here. I kind of find myself walking through the Norland Library, and there's this one sculpture in the library. It's like a figure with like prongs coming out of his head. And right when I saw it last year, for the first time in maybe 20 years, I just had this visceral reaction, because it reminded me of being at Norland studying for a final. And I had just remembered that figure as being like, oh, I've got to take this test. It's going to be so hard. So anyway, it's fun to be back now and actually getting paid to be doing work at CU. So hopefully someday you'll come back and be working here as well.
I can imagine that must be nice, and not having, well, you have your work to worry about, but I could live without the tests. But you've been through that too. And I also know that we talked to before that you have a Danish dad. And I really hope that, we can talk a little more about Denmark and share some things.
I would love to. I love the Danish culture. And at some point, maybe when we're through all this COVID, you can come over and we can have some herring and a big Danish breakfast together at my parents' house.
Yeah, that would be so great. I would love that. And thank you so much for being here today. Really, really appreciate it. So just have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you, Frida. Thanks for representing our school. Thank you.
Please welcome Kylie Blaxton and Scarlet Ponton. Scarlet is the Campus Advising Director in the Office of Undergraduate Education. She's an alum and has been on campus since the last millennium, as she loves to tell her students. Over 23 years at CU, that's fantastic. Scarlet and I have shared many a meeting together, working on ways to enhance the advising experiences for our students. I appreciate that she always brings high energy and a positive attitude.
Hello, my name is Scarlet, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be here with my new BFF, Kylie Blaxton, and I'm happy to introduce her to everyone who is watching us tonight. And here are a couple of fun facts that I have learned from my new BFF. She is from Colorado Springs, Colorado, so hometown, and you are new to CU as our new freshman on campus, and a newcomer to the basketball team. Yes, and the position that she plays is guard, and she's joining me here to answer a couple of questions for us. How fun and exciting. So first question, this one's easy. Softball question. What do you most enjoy about being part of this basketball team?
So what I enjoy the most is honestly just getting to know every one of the girls, and then obviously playing is so much fun. But just being able to build the relationship with each girl has been a lot of fun.
Awesome, fun, excellent. How about a fun fact? Would you care to share with us a personal fact about yourself that no one else knows about you?
There's a few that pop into my head, and I'm like, I'm going to share this one. Okay, when I was a kid, I actually used to play the saxophone.
Really?
I did,
That
yeah.
is amazing. My last question is, ready for this?
I don't
Which
know.
super would you rather have? The ability to read minds, especially since, you're taking classes and all of that, or the ability to fly?
I'm gonna have to go with flying because just having the ability to like read minds, like you'd hear everything, not just the things you want to hear. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to go flying. I'd be able to get places, and it would just be awesome to be able to fly.
That's great. So I've been asking all the questions. Your question.
Okay, so I have a question. So I've learned that you've spent 23 years at the University of Colorado, which is incredible. That is awesome. What keeps you motivated and excited to do what you do?
23 years. So if the math adds up, that means I started at CU when I was 4. Just want to clarify that. And what motivates me? Oh my gosh, the students. Every single day. It's a joy to be with students, helping students, just seeing how they grow and change. And they change the world. It's all about the students. And I love it. Yeah. So, and it takes a lot more time to online. So I spend a lot of extra office hours online with students. And I just need to get to know people. One thing I love to do is sharing music. So you still owe me a song or music that you recommend that I should be listening to. Oh, that was my computer. I'm sorry.
You're good. Also, I'm not even touching mine. I'm like, I'm too scared to get anywhere close to it.
Oh my gosh. Great.
Song, I don't know. I go all over the place. Like I like country, I like pop, I like some raps, I like some R&Bs, like all over the place.
Oh my gosh, you are my twin. I'm telling you, because I can listen to like there's Latin bluegrass that is like this whole new area of music. I will send you some links to videos. It's awesome.
I think I have like 1 or 2 things from my dad. He loves that kind of like very smooth and stuff like that. And I'm like, so yes, you should definitely send me some stuff.
Okay, I will. Because I also listen to like Oliver Tree and Hobo Johnson and like, kinds of newer type of music.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you can recommend anything to me.
Okay.
This is so great.
That pops up into my head right now. I'm like, I have Christmas music already. I'm like, I'm ready for Christmas.
I know, right? They've already started film like with the all the holiday tunes and everything. I love it because it's cold and dark now early, so it's okay.
Literally, I'm like,
so
sometimes
crazy.
when I come out of the gym, we get here at like 12, and then like we're here till like it's dark. So like you come in, it's bright, it's sunny, and then you go out, and it's like, oh my god, it's dark.
The day's over, right. You just want to take a nap at like 7 o'clock at night, right? It's so crazy. It's crazy.
Literally.
Oh my god, how fun! This is so fun. I love it. Love it. I love being part of this event. This is amazing. Thank you for allowing me the time and the space to get to know you. And yay, we will continue to communicate and talk. And yay, go Bucks.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this too.
Up next, Mara Singer and Dr. Myrna Jacobson. Myrna is the Associate Vice Chancellor and Deputy Chief Human Resources Officer. She's been at CU for 5 years and has been a valuable resource to our staff in the Herbst Academic Center, leading and facilitating team building workshops.
Good evening. It's an honor to introduce Mara Singer to everyone who's watching. Mara's hometown is Littleton, Colorado, and she is a forward for the team. She is 6'4", and so welcome, Mara. I want to begin with a couple of questions. One is, what tool has basketball taught you over the last couple of years that will help you as you begin your sophomore year?
Yeah, so just time management has been a huge thing. Our life as an athlete is very busy. It's scheduled from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed every single day. So just being very time management, being aware of your time and what you need to do, just to get everything done to achieve the best that you can in everything in my life, apparently.
Yeah, boy, that time management will go a long way for you, in future endeavors. It's something we all have to learn. So let's have you share a personal fact about yourself that you don't think anyone else would know about you.
So like you said, I'm from Colorado, so I'm from the outdoors. Like, Colorado's huge for being outdoors, but I really don't like doing the whole outdoorsy thing. I hate to hike, absolutely hate that stuff. It's not my cup of tea at all. The only thing I actually enjoy doing outside is like skiing. Other than that, you probably will never catch me doing anything outside like that other than skiing. Hiking, like I said, don't like. Walks, nothing like that. I don't do that stuff. So it's kind of different for being somebody from Colorado who everybody loves to do that and that's all they talk about. But no, I absolutely don't like it.
Yeah, well, good to have a way that you stand out. So that's great. So why did you choose to further your academic and your athletic career at Colorado?
So just, I mean, if anybody who's been to Boulder can say this. I think everybody says it. The location is just, it's unbeatable. You have the mountains right there, but then you have the sun probably 360 days of the year. And it's incredible. Plus you have the caliber of the teams in the Pac-12. You are never playing an easy team. Usually we have at least 5 teams ranked in the top 20 every single year. So you are playing the best of the best teams in the entire country. So you really can't beat that. You are getting better every single time you step out on the court. And so that was like a huge draw for me to come here just because I want to get better and I want to compete in every single thing, especially in basketball. So coming here was just a bonus for that.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado's hard to beat. It's such a great school, and I can hear that pride that you have in the school. It's fantastic. And I think all of us who are here, we share that kind of enthusiasm for the school. So when you think about your life, Mara, how do you hope that people are changed by having known you, for the people who come into contact?
Sorry to interrupt. So I think that one, people should just know, like when they are talking to me, meeting with me, that they're loved. I don't care what color you are, what gender, what ethnicity, what sexuality you are. Just knowing that, being with me, you're always loved and accepted. And I hope that when people talk to me, they feel like that and they feel it always accepted, because in the world today, like that's not usually what's happening. And it's on the men too. Have that happen everywhere you go, which is a great thing. So I just hope that people feel like they're very loved and accepted when they're around me and after they're done talking to me, stuff like that. I just want to leave that type of impact on their life. So if you had one talent that you could possess, what would it be and why?
I really admire people who seem to have the talent for learning languages. I love to travel. I've traveled all over the world, and I would love, and I've worked in different parts of the world, and I would love to be able to have that gift of being able to learn languages easily, because, when you travel, that's such a great opportunity to learn history and culture and to understand the world better. But most importantly, it's about connecting with people. And I would love to be able to have that. I think it is a talent for people who can learn languages easily. Yeah.
I agree. I wish I could speak a different language too. I wish every day that I was bilingual, trilingual, everything. It helps everyday life.
Yeah, I think it changes the way we could connect with the world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I totally agree. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us and for supporting us, Buffs, and hopefully we can have fans this season with this unprecedented time right now, but hopefully you can come to a game this year. If not, just thanks so much again for supporting us, Buff, and we can't wait to see you soon. Thanks so much again.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Mara. Yep. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Now up is Sophie Gerber and Molly Brower. Molly is the Assistant Director for Administration at the University Memorial Center, which is the student union and known to all of campus as the UMC. Molly has been on campus for 5 years, previously working in residence life.
It is my honor to introduce Sophie to everyone who's watching tonight. Sophie is on the women's basketball team. She's from Scottsdale, Arizona, standing at 6 feet tall and plays shooting guard for the women's team. Sophie, what aspect of your basketball game comes easiest to you?
For me, that would be my ability to shoot the basketball. From a young age, I've always just been focused on perfecting my shot, and that's what's been my favorite aspect of the game. So I feel like that's definitely the thing that comes easiest to me. And as time went on, I've just become essentially obsessed with making my shot perfect and, not wanting to ever miss a shot. So I think that's what comes easiest to me.
That's great. Can you share a personal fact about yourself that no one would ever guess about you?
So something that no one would ever guess about me is that I'm actually half Hungarian because my mom was born in Budapest, Hungary. And Hungarian was actually my first language, so I learned to speak Hungarian fluently before I learned to speak English. And now I can't really speak it fluently. I stopped around age 5, but I can still say yes, no, a few curse words, and please and thank you, of course. So
that's incredible. That's an awesome experience to have. What are your goals and plans for after graduation?
After graduation, I want to go to medical school, and I'm interested in becoming a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Awesome. And a question to wrap it up on your end. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Who would you take with you and why?
So if I could go, well, my favorite place to travel to is Hungary because I'm half Hungarian. Obviously, I have family that lives there still. And when I go to Budapest, the city just feels like a second home. And but if there was a place I could travel to that I've never been to, I would probably go to Japan. I think that I really love learning about other cultures and seeing how other people live around the world, and it's just super interesting to me. And there is a Disneyland in Tokyo, and I would love to go to Disneyland in Tokyo. That sounds so fun. And if I was to go to Japan, I would bring my family, so my mom, dad, and my 2 brothers. And I'd bring them because we travel a lot together, and I just couldn't imagine going on a trip without them.
That's awesome. Hopefully you can plan that trip sometime soon and get over there. That would be great.
That would be so fun.
Awesome.
And then I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah. Sophie, I'm gonna go full screen on you so you can ask your question, okay?
Okay. All right, and I have a question for you. What inspired you to pursue a career here at CU?
Yeah, so when I was in college, I had several different mentors who really made my college experience what it was, from living in the residence halls to internships to student affairs professionals on campus. And I realized that I had a love for education. And so I chose to pursue higher education and decided to come to CU in hopes that I would be able to make some of those personal connections with students at different points in their college journey. So I started working in the residence halls as a hall director and really valued that time with students as they were transitioning from high school and home to a college setting. And now I'm working in the UMC, so I get to see all sorts of students and Boulder community members in the building. And so really just giving back to kind of give back to what was given to me when I was in college.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for being a part of the event, and go Buffs.
Good luck with your season.
Now welcome Maya Hollingshed and Dawn Baroni. Dawn is the Associate Director of the Forever Buffs Outreach Program through the Alumni Association. Dawn has been working at CU since June of 2009 and is a CU alum. She earned her degree with majors in history and psychology and a minor in Italian. I think I just found my new tour guide through Italy.
Well, it's my honor to introduce Maya Hollingshed tonight for everyone that's watching. And some fun facts about Maya is she's a senior communications major, and she's from Houston, Texas. And she plays in the guard position, coming in at 6'4" in height. And it's a pleasure to be on the call with you tonight, Maya.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, so what's the most important tool basketball has taught you over the past 3 years, and that will help you in your senior season?
I think the biggest thing besides time management has definitely been accountability, just because there's so many things that being a student athlete requires that you have to be held accountable to and that you have to show up for. So I think just getting in the practice of doing that for years now has set me up for the future, just for better opportunities and stuff like that.
If I'm not a country music connoisseur, like if I had to pick a song to go to, what would you suggest?
You're interactive, for sure.
Okay, I'll check it out. So Maya, what motivates you each and every day to practice and work so hard to be a great basketball player and a student?
I think just the fact that, there's other people counting on you every day to show up in practice. We're all held to the standard that, we have to be, we're a family, and so we're all held to a higher standard than we set personally for ourselves and as a team and as a group. And I think that really motivates me to really just show up for everyone else, because even, the days that, I'm not feeling well or I'm not, in my right zone or spirit, whatever the case may be, is just I have 14, 15 other people that are looking for me to show up and be there for them. So that definitely motivates me.
Very nice. And so to play off that, what advice do you have for younger girls or women who strive to be top athletes, scholars, leaders, or whatever they dream to be?
I think the biggest thing would be, if you want to do something and you're committed to it, I think it would be to be committed. Sports take a lot of commitment, no matter what sport it is, track, basketball, football. It's time consuming. It takes time away from your family. It takes time away from your friends. You don't really have a lot of time to do things that you may want to do someday. So I think commitment is definitely the biggest thing, because, if you don't give it your all, then you're not going to be good or be great.
Yeah. No, that's great. Well, I've got one more question for you. So what is one dream that you have for yourself that you haven't accomplished yet, but you'd love to?
One dream would definitely be to travel the world. We were kind of talking about this before the phone call about our experiences in Italy, but just taking that trip to Italy kind of opened my mind to what else is out there in the world. So definitely traveling the world is something that is definitely on my list. I have not accomplished, but I'm looking forward to after my collegiate career.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that someday we'll get back into that traveling world, and you'll get to go do that.
Yeah, we should. Should probably plan our next trip to Italy or something like that. I actually do have a question for you. Kind of different. I mean, on here it says you can go anywhere in the world, but we already talked about that. But I think my question would be, if you weren't in the position you were in today, what would you be, or what would you be doing and why?
That's a great question. I think wine has become a hobby for me, and so I think I'd find myself out on a vineyard, working with the grapes and maybe in the marketing and sales side of that. So probably in the wine industry.
Nice. Yeah. Winery and stuff like that. Oh,
yeah. The chemistry side though might kill me, but it's a fun culture and it's a great community. So maybe one day. Yeah. Well, Maya, thank you so much. I really appreciate this time to talk, and I wish you the best of luck in your season.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was nice meeting you, and now that I know your wife, you can try to talk to me, give me a ticket so you can come out here, watch us play.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Okay, I got you. I'm working on that right now.
All right, great. Well, thanks, Maya, and go Buff.
Next up is Renee Smith and Dr. Quentin McAndrew. Quentin is the Assistant Vice Provost and Executive Director of Digital Initiatives. Quentin spent 7 years at CU earning her PhD and has been in her professional role on campus for 6 years. In addition, her eldest daughter just graduated from CU in Women and Gender Studies, and her youngest daughter is a CU senior advertising major. Her home is full of Buffs.
All right. Hi, everybody. It gives me great pleasure and pride to introduce Renee Smith to you. She is a fantastic 6'2" power forward for the CU Lady Buffs basketball team. Go Buffs! And her hometown is Philadelphia, and she's majoring in computer science. Did I get all that right, Renee?
Yeah.
That's great. So I have a question for you. I read your bio getting ready for this interview, and I saw that you started basketball a little bit late. And I was just so fascinated about that journey for you and how that worked. What drew you to basketball, and what was it like starting late? And then what was it like becoming a Division I athlete?
I would say I became interested in basketball more because everyone was like, oh, you're 6'2", like you should be playing basketball. And I grew up around a lot of boys, so that was the main sport they played. So I just picked it up. And then I went to this camp, and the coach that wound up like getting me into the AAU and stuff like that saw me there and wanted me to come play with them. And afterwards, I was just like, okay, I guess this is my sport now. And then coming in a little late, it was a little awkward. Like I always was in a rush in a way because I'm like, these kids are my age and they're getting to do so much more than me. Like I had to get taught how to shoot the ball and stuff like that while they were over here like doing like everything else, and I wasn't allowed to do it. Not because I couldn't, but just because they wanted me to focus on the fundamentals. And I think for college, I didn't really have an expectation for it because I didn't know how far basketball would take me really. So I guess this was just like an incentive in a way for me. Like I got to play basketball for free, going to school for free. So it was nice.
That's awesome. And I mean, you must be, and you don't have to answer this question, but you must be a tremendous athlete to start a sport that late and then come to college. And like I said, I won't put you on the spot and make you brag about yourself, but I find that incredibly impressive. And then also to be an athlete and major in something like computer science, you've got two really challenging things that you're doing. You're a true scholar athlete. So I just find that amazing. It's just amazing to talk to you and be a part of this. Okay. So would you share a personal fact about yourself that might surprise people?
I would say a personal fact about me is that I'm a preemie. I was born 2 months early, and I was like
so was I.
The tiniest baby, and I guess I hit my growth spurt from there.
Just think of how tall you would have been if you hadn't been a preemie. Dang, I always say I'm only 5'4" because I was a preemie, but I guess not. So what is one of the best lessons that you've learned through your sports experience that you might be willing to share? And especially an experience as a female, as a woman.
I would say for me, it's definitely that like women can do it all. I know it like sucks to say, but some people do think that way, that there is a divide between men and women. And just being an athlete, you get to see how strong women are and that they're not as fragile or weak as society may make them out to be. So, and you're also surrounded by a whole bunch of like good female examples who can lead you in the right direction, even though they may play basketball or whatever sport it may be, like they have done other things in life. So it's good to see women, I guess, in a way, in charge, if you want to say.
I believe in that for sure. And you and I talked a little bit that we both have done martial arts, and I bet you had to fight some boys when you were doing that. And then you said you played basketball against boys. Can you talk a little bit about all that experience?
I guess growing like where I where I winded up first starting to play basketball, like middle school, high school area, there wasn't really like that wasn't really the thought process in my school. Like it was just like we're all gonna play. It's either you are or you're not because you're male or female, but just because you don't feel like it or whatever. And with martial arts, I always had to go against boys not because there was no girls there, but because I was bigger, so they did it by weight. And normally the boys were the only one who were in my age group that weighed the same as me. And I don't think there was a real difference. I think it was more awkward for me to be around the girls than it was the boys.
And why was that?
I guess at the time, like there was always this, what's the word for it? I can't think of the word, but there was always this like thing surrounding like the idea of girls, like you're not supposed to play sports or whatever. Like you're just supposed to like dancing and stuff like that. And that was never me. And the boys, I felt like more accepted by them. Like they did everything I like to do. They played sports, like they just did it all. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't see why I should have to be held back because I'm a girl.
So it must be pretty amazing to be part of an elite college basketball team with a bunch of strong, powerful women. Can you talk about that a little bit?
It's a nice example. Like I grew up, I'm single mom, so I got to see that every day, like being a strong, independent female, but also just to be surrounded by other women who are just as successful in a way, in my perspective, as my mom. And then just know that one day could be me. Like I don't have to be perceived as inferior. Like our head coach is a woman and the assistant coach is a man. So that's kind of going against what society thinks.
It's an incredibly powerful story that you tell. So what is the best piece of advice that you've gotten from a woman that you remember?
Kind of going off what I said, like don't hold back, don't let gender or anything like that hold you back from doing something. If you want to do it and you work hard at it, you can do it, and no one's going to stop you from doing that.
That's awesome. So I think you're supposed to close out our interview with a question for me.
My question for you, I guess, would be, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I'd want to be you. That would be my superpower. I'd be 6'2". I'd be this incredible female athlete who can jump to the sky, who has incredible lessons to teach young women who are coming behind her, and who has carved an incredible path for herself. And, getting to know you and talk to you ahead of this interview, I can tell that you're a really disciplined person and that you have strong beliefs and you have goals and you work as hard as you can to get there. And yet you're just this incredibly nice, approachable person. So you're a superhero in my mind. So I'll be you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's been such a pleasure meeting you. I wish we could do this in person.
It was a pleasure meeting you also. Thank you for coming to this event, and I really appreciate meeting you. Hopefully I get to speak to you again some other time.
Yes, and I hope you have a great season and get to have a season and get to have people in the stands. And if you do, I'll come watch for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. Such a pleasure. Take care.
Please welcome Peanut Tuateli and Paula Balafas. Paula is also a member of the CU Police Department, where she serves as commander. Paula is an alum, having earned both her bachelor's degree and master's degree from CU. With over 30 years of law enforcement experience, she has been with CUPD for the last 3 years and is a wonderful partner of CU Athletics.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to number 33, Serena Peanut Tuateli. There she is. Peanut, who, as I'm going to refer to her throughout this introduction, is a 6'1" forward. She's a junior this year, and she's from Chico, California. Her major is psych, and she is working on a minor in leadership, which makes that near and dear to my heart. Nobody ends up in working for the university without really valuing leadership and what it means to be a student athlete leader. So yay, Peanut. Ready, excited for a great season?
Yes, I am
Absolutely.
ready.
Excellent. So I would like to tell everyone a little bit about you. So you have 5 siblings. So three sisters, two brothers, big
Yes, ma'am.
family. Sounds like you all grew up being pretty competitive and playing sports and really getting
Yeah.
after it. So we had a discussion about one of the most challenging parts of being a student college athlete. So Peanut, would you like to tell them a little bit about how you described what it's like in terms of trying to figure out the balance?
Yes. For me personally, I have struggled and still struggle with balancing my social life, school, and basketball, especially when we're in season and conference is starting. Like my whole life is consumed with basketball. And nighttime is the only time I really have to do with school, so there's really no socializing. I wake up, go to class, treatment, practice, treatment, go home, eat, and then sleep and then do it all over again. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's what I signed up for. But I do need to work on that because it is very challenging is balancing everything out.
If it's any consolation, we all struggle with that. Even after we're done being student athletes, even after we graduate, we still struggle with balance. So moving on to the next question. I already knew some fun personal facts about Peanut because I did my research and I've been going to a lot of the women's basketball games over the last few years. But what I thought was fascinating, so when I asked her about a fun fact about herself that not a lot of people know, she talked about she could keep up with the boys when she was growing up. She played sports against people who were bigger than her, in some cases more athletic than her, and that has made her the player she is today because she can really keep up with anyone. Wouldn't you say, Peanut?
Yes, ma'am. I'll take up any challenge of the day.
And I will tell you, just from watching Peanut play, she is tough. She's one of the toughest players I've seen in the game. And then we also talked about career goals. So something that was really new to me in terms of learning this about Peanut was that she is going to use her current experience as a college student athlete because she wants to be a collegiate basketball coach. And she's currently watching film. She's talking to her coaches about the things that she needs to do to prepare. She's watching a lot of film, and she'd like to be in a Division I program someday. Peanut, do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
I think growing up and I've always wanted to be involved with sports, but now that I'm a college athlete and I am 100% in love with this game, I want to continue to be a part of basketball, but not a player, but contribute as a coach because basketball has given me so much and have done so much for me in my life that I want to give back, to later generations and just pass on my knowledge and my skills. Just a sign of giving back to the game of basketball because it has done a lot for me and I would not be standing where I am or talking to Paula without it.
That is so awesome. Well, now I am going to throw you a little bit of a curveball though. One question I didn't ask you that is my scripted question was something I'm really curious about your answer. What leadership advice would you give your 12-year-old self to prepare you for the challenges you're experiencing as a collegiate athlete? If you could go back in time and talk to your 12-year-old self, what would you tell her?
I'll definitely tell myself, start growing your confidence because every great leader has great confidence in their game, their communication, how they talk to their coaches. Like you got to be confident all the time. And when I look up to our leaders, Aubrey and Maya, I know they're confident. I know they're going to knock down the last shot. I know that they are going to approach other people differently and communicate with them differently because how confident they are and the relationships that they've built with all of us. But I think my 12-year-old self especially is to start building your self-confidence, girl, because it'll only get better from there once your confidence starts growing. I have a question for you. So, how did you get involved with law enforcement and how has it shaped you into the person you are today?
Well, it was a couple things, really. Growing up, my mother was very rules-oriented, so I tended to be a real rule follower growing up. Additionally, my aunt and uncle used to have a shooting range out in east area, kind of out towards Aurora when I was growing up, and Denver SWAT used to go out there and train. So as a little kid, I was able to see really kind of what the job might be, how they trained. I loved the camaraderie, reminded me a lot of sports. But the other thing was in junior high school, heck, even in elementary school, I felt bad for kids who got picked on and kids who got bullied. And whenever possible, I would stand up for them, and I would try to stand up to the people who were bullies. And I think the thing that attracted me, well, one of the many things that attracted me about law enforcement is the ability to advocate and stand up for people who can't always stand up for themselves. It's fighting for people who are in a disadvantaged situation in some cases. It's helping people problem solve and be able to resolve their own issues. It's really helping and wanting to be able to help people help themselves for the most part. And there was another piece of it too that I didn't want the same job every day. I wanted things to be different every day. I didn't want to sit at a desk for an entire career. I wanted to be out doing something and active and have my day look different every single day. And I've had that. The bulk of my career, I have not been sitting behind a desk, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much, Paula, for everything and continuing to support our team since my freshman year. And now not now, we've been season ticket holders, but thank you so much for your support. It means so much to us.
Well, I'm a huge fan, as you know, Peanut, and as soon as I can come to games again, I'll be there cheering you on. But everyone, this is Peanut. Peanut's fantastic. You gotta catch her in some games. I'm sure we're going to be watching you on TV pretty soon here. So congratulations on the start of another fantastic year, and I know you guys are going to do great.
Please welcome Jalen Sherrod and Dr. Marissa Erringer. Marissa is Associate Professor in the Department of Integrative Physiology. She is a faculty fellow and works for the Institute for Behavioral Genetics. Marissa has been at CU for 19 years and completed her PhD at the CU Medical School when it was in downtown Denver.
Okay, it's an honor to introduce Jalen tonight to everyone who is watching. A couple of fun facts about Jalen. She's originally from Birmingham, Alabama. She is 5'6" tall, and she plays point guard. She's a sophomore this year. So Jalen, as a starter question here, what aspect of your basketball game has been the most difficult for you to master?
For me, I'll have to say one of the most difficult things for me to master was slowing the game down. I kind of play it pretty fast. I like playing pretty fast, and so just slowing the game down, being able to process different reads, being able to process different offensive sets and defensive sets, I think was probably one of the hardest things I had to master coming into college.
Great. And then next, would you be one personal fact about yourself that no one would ever guess about you?
I have a fascinating interest in Greek and Roman mythology. I took a Roman mythology class last year, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I liked the things before, but in college taking those classes, and I'm actually taking a Greek and Roman mythology class now, I just find it really interesting, and it's something that I didn't really know about either, but just looking into it and finding different things about it is really interesting to me.
So as a child, what did you think you wanted to be when you grew up?
I always knew I wanted to go into crime, but growing up, I really wanted to do forensic pathology. Just looking at crime shows and stuff like The First 48 or Forensic Files and stuff like that was really interesting to me. So a forensic pathologist for sure.
And then finally, could you describe a woman who has had a significant influence on your life and why?
I would definitely have to say my mom. She basically, she was a single mom, and so raising me, even though I was her only child, she just did so much for me, and she really taught me things that apply in everyday life and apply, even though she didn't play basketball, it applies on the basketball court and how to carry myself. And she just made so many sacrifices for me growing up, and I probably wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had for schools like CU to see me and actually recruit me without her sacrificing what she did, whether it was running me back and forth to practices or making sure that I made games and stuff like that. So I would definitely have to say my mom.
Yeah, moms are certainly pretty awesome, especially when you're a daughter. Great role model. That was the end of my questions.
Okay, so my question for you, okay, I'll start again, sorry. My question for you is, what would you say is your most rewarding part of, I guess, your profession, or just in the sense of, as a professional, what would you say is the most rewarding thing that you have got out of your experiences?
Yeah, so I think I have kind of two roles in my position, and one of those roles is teaching. I teach an undergraduate class in data science and biostatistics, which isn't everybody's favorite class. And some people, really struggle. So I have students who start out the semester and they're really intimidated and scared of the material, but they come to class, they come to office hours, they're clearly working really, really hard. And some of these people, it's been a real fun experience to watch them get better as the semester goes on and find that they can do more than they thought they could do. I think that's the most fun part about being a teacher, is when people discover that they can do more than they thought they could do. And then my other role in my position is as a researcher, where we study the genetics of addiction. And I had a special person when I was a little girl who suffered from alcoholism. And so we make strides in a really slow way. Science doesn't always go as fast as you would like for it to, but I'm hopeful that the work that we do trying to identify genetic factors and other risk factors for addiction, like alcoholism and nicotine addiction, that'll help us understand both how to prevent maybe the diseases, but also develop new approaches for treating them. And pretty fun discoveries that we've made over the years, because the field of genomics right now is such an exciting area to be in.
Thank you for being a part of this event and supporting the Buffs. And it was really great to meet you and getting to know you.
You too. Have a fantastic season. I've enjoyed talking with you tonight.
Thank you.
Next up, Tayana Jones and Dr. L. Kaifa Rowland. Kaifa is the chair of Women and Gender Studies and associate professor of anthropology. Kaifa has been at CU Boulder for 15 years. After reading about her classes, I want to go back to school and take all of them.
All right, hello. It is an honor to introduce you to Tayana to everyone that's watching tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tayana. She's from Selma, North Carolina, which is not far from where I'm from. She's a small forward / shooting guard with the CU Buffs. She's a transfer student from Georgetown University, and she's 6'3". Let me ask her a few questions with you all and get to know each other. First of all, how do you prepare for games? Do you have any rituals, songs that pump you up, whatever?
I actually do have a couple songs. More of a, I like to get hyped for a game, gets me in the mood. So I like gospel, up tempo, of course. I like R&B a lot, so just some nice R&B songs. I'll definitely listen to that. So yeah, R&B, gospel. I got some hip hop too.
So share a personal fact about yourself, a fun fact that no one would ever guess about you.
Well, a lot of people don't know I can sing, and that I can draw. Pretty, like, I guess, creative in a sense. But yeah, I can sing, I can draw a bit.
Got an artsy side.
Yes, ma'am.
What was your favorite family vacation growing up?
I would say we used to love to go to the water park. That was just something that we always enjoyed. The water park was like, that was just like that deal. Everybody had to go. Like, so I just like the water park. Yeah, It was one about, I want to say, an hour from where we stayed, so we would always go there.
Do you have siblings? It wasn't on my list.
Yes, I actually do. I'm the oldest. I have two younger brothers.
And the wrap-up question is, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? And what are some of your short-term goals that will help you get?
5 to 10 years from now, I definitely see myself playing professionally, either overseas or in the WNBA. And I think just to get there is just staying focused, staying tenacious, and just really being determined about everything that I do, being intentional about the little things, just really understanding that it's a process and you can't rush it. I think that's something I've always struggled with, but understanding that it's not going to be there tomorrow or the next week after that. Just taking my time and being where my feet are. That's what our coach always tells us.
Where your feet are. Thank you. Questions for me?
I actually do have one. Oh, yeah, I have one question for you. So what is the most rewarding part of what you do?
I chose to be a professor very deliberately before I had children, and I have one child. I wanted to be able to spend more time with my child than anybody else. So I really appreciate having summer vacation, winter vacation, that she's with me, that I don't have to have a nanny or some special person to care of my child for me. And now that she's older, she's 15, she travels with me. That's a big part of what I love about my job. My job allows me to travel and to write and do the things that I'm good at. And I'm very happy that my child gets to do that with me. That's the most rewarding.
Ooh, that's cool. What has been your most rewarding moment as a professional? Just one thing you can think of.
It's hard to say. I teach graduate students in addition to undergraduates, and whenever I get to hood a graduate student as a doctoral, get their doctoral robe, it makes me feel like I've accomplished something. That I've made somebody a grown up. I've created a little miniature me. So that's always
right. That's cool. That's what's up. Well, I do want to say first and foremost that I do thank you for just being part of this event and supporting us. That means so much. And so thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can't say it enough.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and go Buffs.
Please welcome Annika Jank and Roxanne Ruggles. Roxanne is the Associate Director for Events Planning and Catering at the UMC. Roxanne has been on CU's campus for 19 years. I will say that I love when I have meetings at the UMC and they serve food. Thanks, Roxanne.
Well, it's an honor for me to introduce Annika Jank. And I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. A few facts about Annika is that Annika is wearing 25. She's a senior, and she's tall, 6'1", and she's from Edina, Minnesota. So one of the questions that I would kind of like to start out with is, what is the most enjoyment you get from being part of the CU women's basketball team?
All right, so my favorite part about being a part of the women's basketball team is probably my teammates. They make it a lot better. The days are hard sometimes and long, and they just make me laugh. And they're going through the same thing that I am, and so they're definitely my favorite part about being a part of the team.
Okay, and you probably have built-in friends, and I'm sure that with COVID you need that. I think that you're probably in a place where all of us are facing very challenging times. One of the second questions that I have is that, can you share a personal fun fact about yourself that no one would ever guess about you?
All right, so being from Minnesota, most people would never assume this, but I actually know how to surf. I learned when I was in Mexico a few years ago with my family, and I really enjoyed it. No one would ever guess that since I'm from freezing cold weather, but I do know how to surf.
It's wonderful. You're multi-talented. I read in your bio that you played volleyball, and then also that you were also a Frisbee champion. So you're just multi-talented athlete. I'm very kind of starstruck by you. What do you plan to do after graduation? What are your goals, and what do you look forward to after you graduate this year?
After I graduate, if we don't get the 5th year, fingers crossed we do, but if we don't, either play overseas, that'd be a lot of fun, or get a job here in Colorado. Obviously, I don't know where life will take me, but I'd like to, now being a senior, I'd like to stay here. I used to not think that, and now I do, because Colorado is amazing and so beautiful. And so I would like to stay here after graduation or go play overseas if the opportunity presents itself.
Well, I hope that happens. I hope that you have the opportunity for a 5th year. Fingers crossed. I think all of the student athletes deserve it. It's been such a challenging year. I mean, I look at you and it's like going to school and playing and trying to decide on how you're going to participate, whether you're going to be able to play. There's no fans. I mean, it's just such a total experience for you. And you still have a smile on your face. So that's, you know, you're enduring it. So I do hope you get a 5th year. One of the wrap-up questions that I have is, I am wondering if you had the opportunity to play with a professional athlete, either a pickup game or a game of horse, who would that be, and why would you choose that person?
All right, so I would choose Deladon for the professional athlete that I would play horse with. And we were talking about this in our interview, but also lunch right after, of course, because I like watching her game, and I think that she has a lot of great advice to give to young athletes. And so I think it'd be fun to just pick her brain for a little bit and just to see how she approaches life and, you know, how she goes about it. So I've always wanted to meet her and talk to her, and so I think this would be the perfect opportunity.
Well, you know what? I hope one day that presents itself, because you deserve that.
Yes, that'd be so cool. And then I now have one question for you, Roxanne. And my question for you is, since you've been a part of the CU campus for 19 years, what's been the most rewarding moment for you since you got here?
I've been grateful because I've had numerous opportunities to be part of the UMC renovation projects. And the University Memorial Center is an older building on campus, but it has really a good foundation and incredible structure. And so I've been fortunate enough to be selected to be on some of these renovation committees. And so I've been having the opportunity to look at all of the design and how money is spent and what's the biggest bang for your buck, and then also change these renovated space and they become vibrant, because I really do believe the UMC, the University Memorial Center, is the center of campus. And so it's great to see when people come in and use our facility, our students, our recognized student groups, the community, university department. And I love being around kids. And so I want more people to come into our building. So that's why I really like it. I've been very fortunate to be part of that.
You've done a great job. I love going in there. I remember, I have a story freshman year. Me, Maya, and Aubrey would always, mainly Aubrey, but when I had class with Maya, we would go in there and get those curly fries from the little lunch place and get Starbucks before class. It's great. I love it.
You should come in now. We've renovated the connection. We've spent a little on that, and it's a beautiful place now. So you should come in and play with some pool or ping pong with some of just to break up the monotony.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's a good idea.
Anyway,
thank you
best
so
of
much.
luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, best of luck on your finals. I'm really excited to see you play. I do have season tickets, so I won't stalk you, but I definitely will probably introduce myself in person if I have the opportunity. So thank you so much.
Yes, no, thank you. And I'm excited to see you at games when they allow fans in. I'll definitely come out to talk to you, I know. But keep those fingers crossed, and thank you for always supporting us.
My pleasure. Thank you for being such a wonderful athlete. I think student athletes are an amazing amazing people. They have so much self-discipline and they have so much to offer the world. You're a shining star. You're going to bring a lot to the game and a lot to the adult community when you graduate. So best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We've reached our last duo tonight, and I really want to thank you for another great event. I love emceeing this event because I love hearing from our student athletes and watching the relationships start growing between the fantastic leaders that we have on our campus. So thanks for being here. Our final pair is Sila Finau and Katie Gleason. Katie is Senior Assistant on the University Council. Katie's been at CU Boulder for 4 years and spent 1.8 years in the CU Systems Litigation Office in Denver. Don't you love how precise attorneys are? 1.8 years. Love it.
Hey, Sila, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, it's an honor to introduce you tonight, Sila Finau, who everyone's watching tonight. Some facts about Sila that I learned. She is a junior studying psychology. She's from the Bay Area in California, specifically Dublin, California. She's 5'9", and she plays point guard for the team. So how do you prepare for games, Sila?
I don't really prepare for games. Most game days are pretty busy for me. First, we start out with film and then shoot around. And then right after shoot around, we have our post-game snack or meal. And then I just stay at the gym the entire day. And then that's when I get into my ritual, I guess. I just listen to my music and do my hair. And yeah, just get ready mentally.
That's right. You told me sometimes it can take you a while to get your hair just the way you want it for the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes.
It's important though, right? You don't want it in your face and you want to look good on TV, I guess. So Sila, what kind of music? You said you listen to music to pump you up before the games. What kind of music do you listen to?
Pretty much some hip hop, rap. Like I said, I don't really like anything slow. When it comes closer to game time, maybe 2 hours before, that's fine, but just not really closer to tip off.
So, hey, can you share a fun fact about yourself?
One fact about me is that I'm a grammar Nazi. I don't know why, but I just am. And when someone just messes something up or says something wrong, I will just be right there to correct them.
That's right. And I think that's a good skill. It's a good skill to be have the grammar as an important thing in your life, and I like it. I'm also a grammar Nazi, so we have that in common.
Yeah, it's important. Grammar's important.
Yeah, it is. I guess I have 2 more questions. What motivates you each and every day to practice and work so hard to be a great basketball player and a great student?
I would say my family, really. They're the ones that really got me into basketball, my brother specifically. And then my mom just supported me throughout all my years of playing, and then my sister joining me throughout middle school, high school. It's just nice. So yeah, they definitely are my motivation.
Neat. And your sister plays basketball too, right?
Yeah, she's at University of Northern Colorado. Unfortunately, we did not get to play them this year.
Yeah, what a bummer. Maybe next year.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, one final question to wrap it up for me. If you could have lunch with any famous female in history, who would it be?
I would say Diana Taurasi. She's a really good, amazing basketball player. She's the GOAT in my eyes, but yeah, Diana Taurasi. There's no other reason why. Same sport, Or
Yeah,
Sue Bird.
yeah.
Sue Bird too.
Sue Bird, that's what you said yesterday.
Yeah, Sue Bird.
She's pretty cool too. Maybe you could have lunch with both of them. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so my question for you is, if you could have 3 possessions, if you could only keep 3 possessions, what would you keep and why?
All right, so I had time to think about this one a little more, and I agree with you. I definitely would want to keep my phone. Life sort of functions on our phones these days, and I don't think I could live without it. The second thing I'd want to keep is a pearl necklace that my mom gave me for my 21st birthday. It's really important to me. It's a gift that I cherish, and so if I had to keep, take everything out of my house in a fire, I think I would take that. And then the final thing I would take are scrapbooks. I have made a lot of scrapbooks over the years with pictures and memories, and so that is a possession that's also really important to me.
Nice. I don't even know what I would keep. So, well, I just want to thank you for being a part of this event and supporting us. And go Buffs.
Yeah, go Buffs.
Hello, everyone, and wow, this event never ceases to amaze me at how wonderful the connections our student athletes can make with other women leaders on our campus. Thank you to everyone for being here tonight. Thank you to the donors and fans who support women's basketball and CU athletics. This is both an exciting time and a challenging time for all of us. We're excited about the potential of the team that JR and her staff have assembled. And because of COVID, our department, as you know, is facing realities of a budget shortfall as we stay firm in our commitment to support our student athletes. While we aren't certain that we'll be able to have fans in the stand this year, we do invite you to stay involved as much as possible. Please reach out to someone in the Buff Club or your Buff Club representative and get involved in the success of this program and to discuss ways that you can support what we're doing. As you know, we launched the One campaign to assist in the budget deficit this year and beyond. This is a really important initiative for us as we're trying to support our student athletes through the shortfall that we're facing in our budget this year and potentially beyond. And it also gives us the opportunity to reach out to other people to get them involved in our Buff Club. So your support in that effort would be beneficial to all of us. I'm wishing all the ladies on this basketball team success. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to watch them play and to see how this season progresses. It's going to be exciting, and I know JR and her staff have this team ready to go. Now, to close us all out tonight, I want to welcome our incredible and fantastic women's basketball coach, JR Payne.
Hey, Buff fans, thank you so much for joining us tonight for the one-on-one event. This is one of the most fun events that we have here at the University of Colorado. And not only is it fun, it's very, very special and near and dear to our hearts. We have a lot of great young women in our program, and this event allows us the opportunity to spend time with some very strong, incredible women on our campus. We love the fact that our players get to interact, spend time, get to know each other, and really share their journey. How did they get to these prominent positions on our campus? I know this event looks a little bit different this year, so we're very happy you could join us. Can't wait for the day that we can all be together in person in the CU Event Center watching some great hoops. All right, as we look ahead to the 2020-21 basketball season, we know that things are going to look really different for everybody, including our ball club. Man, we've been through a lot the last 8 months, but we are so excited to get playing here very soon. This year's team, we have 4 new players and we have a lot of veterans. We return most of our impact players from last season. We have a couple of fantastic seniors. We had a really good freshman class last year and then really strong play in between. Our seniors this year will be Maya Hollingshed and Annika Jank. Both have played a lot and contributed a lot throughout their careers. Maya Hollingshed was an all-conference player last year as a junior and has been picked again to be an all-conference player this year. It's been really neat to watch Maya's role and skill set expand over her 4 years here at CU. She's taken on a real leadership role this year, which is different for Maya and something that we're very proud of. She's really growing in that area. Annika Jank has had a really great fall. We lost a lot of our preseason training in the spring and summer, but Annika continued to work. So Annika's had a great few weeks of practice. She's leading. She's always been one that works incredibly hard, always brings a real positive spirit to practice, and I think that's really, really helping some of our young players this year. So together we expect a lot from those two. Speaking of our young players, we have 4 freshmen this year that will have a big impact on our season. We have Sophie Gerber, who comes from Arizona. We have Alyssa Lafontaine, who's from Fort Worth, Texas. We have Frida Foreman, who came to us from Denmark. And we have Kylie Blaxton, who is a freshman from Colorado Springs. When we first got to Colorado, we knew we had great talent in the state. It's really, really important for us to try to keep the best players home. That's not always easy to do, but we were really, really fortunate to get Kylie Blaxton to stay here at CU, and I think she's going to have a big impact. She's 6'4", plays on the wing, shoots the ball really, really well, and can play a lot of different positions, being that she's so versatile. Frida Foreman, I believe, will make a very, very big impact on our perimeter play this year. In fact, as we've statted out all of our live practices, she's actually leading the team in scoring right now as a freshman. She has a lot of international experience. She's played on her Danish national team, can play positions 1 through 3, has a big, strong body that I think is college ready, and we'll expect her to have a big impact along with the rest of our returning backcourt. Obviously, Jalen Sherrod came out with a bang last year as a freshman point guard, being an all-conference player in the Pac-12. And she continues to shine. I mean, she works, and she's our hardest working player. She's our strongest player in the weight room. One thing that she really struggled with last year, I think, as the season went on, was her perimeter shooting. And so, like Annika, who spent a lot of time shooting in the driveway, Jalen did as well, and has really, really improved her three-point shooting. So I think the fact that she's always been faster than most people, can get to the basket, can create shots for other people. I love the fact that she's really confident from 3 right now and can knock down those shots consistently. We'll expect a lot from her, and I know the conferences as well, because they voted Jalen to be a preseason all-conference player again. Sela Finau has had a great month of practice, best basketball of her career so far. She worked extremely hard on both the physical and the mental part of her game this summer, and she's just playing really, really well. She's playing the 1 and the 2. She's shooting the ball well. She's leading. She has a lot of command right now, which we need from our backcourt, and I expect her to play a lot of minutes this year. Peanut Tutele, who's always a fan favorite, because of how hard she plays. She's out there taking charges. She's knocking down threes. She's doing really, really well, and she's an upperclassman now. Peanut's one that's always been pretty consistent, been pretty solid, but this year we will need her to, to take that a step further and really lead the way that we know she's capable of. Last one I would talk about, I guess, would be Aubrey Knight, who seems like she's been here forever. She's had to redshirt one time already with a shoulder injury, but she's just doing fabulously. She was voted team captain along with Maya Hollingshed this year by her teammates, and she's just the great teammate, the glue that holds everybody together. No matter if you're a freshman or a senior, if you need help with something, you go to Aubrey Knight. And it's really wonderful to have someone like that on our team, in our locker room, who really sacrifices for the team, will do anything that's required or anything that's asked of her. And there's a lot of really great players. I mean, I could go on and on about others, but I kind of highlighted just a few that I really believe will really solidify our team this year. We feel great about where we are as a ball club. Throughout this strange COVID, 8 months, we really have come together, and it's a team that is really gelling. We have no drama. We have no egos. We have a lot of really great young women that just want to be successful for each other, which I think goes a long way to helping us on the basketball court. One thing that's really neat about this group is we have a very competitive group. That's something that Jalen, I think, struggled with a little bit last year. She's naturally very wired that way. She wants to compete. She wants to, challenge people. She wants people to challenge her. And as a ball club, we were not collectively in the same space. And I think that was hard for her and hard for us sometimes. We lost close games last year. The Stanfords, we lost twice, and UCLA, all really, really close games. And I think our competitive mindset in practice every single day this year will help us win those ball games down the stretch this season. We're so excited for our game Wednesday night. Can't believe we're finally going to play. We're ready, and I know you guys are too. So we'll be sad. We'll miss you guys being in the event center with us in person, but we know that there's so many great Buff fans that are loyal and true, and you'll be watching from home, cheering us on. And we're just excited for the season to get underway. Thank you again for joining us. We love our Buffs. We love having you out there supporting our young ladies, and go Buffs.